The risk of cardiovascular diseases, stroke, and end-stage renal disease is 5 to 6 times higher in patients of resistant hypertension than in those hypertensive patients with good BP control. So friends, it is very important for you that you should be able to diagnose and manage this condition. So in this video, I am going to explain all the aspects of resistant hypertension. You watch this video till the end, not only because it is important, but also an interesting quiz on this topic is waiting for you in the description box. And also, if you have come for the first time on this channel, then do subscribe this channel for more such clinical insights. So without wasting much time, let's start our video. To diagnose resistant hypertension, first we should know what exactly is resistant hypertension. So now we will see what is the definition of resistant hypertension with the help of a clinical case. So a 50-year obese male IT professional, obese IT professional means a sedentary habit, comes to you with history of headache on and off since 15 days. You take patient's blood pressure and it was 170 by 100. Then after all the basic evaluation, you start with the treatment. Now, what is your goal? Your goal for the treatment is that the patient's blood pressure should be less than 140 by 90. Now, you first start with a drug, telmisartan. You start with 40 milligram once a day. But BP is not under control. Then you add another drug, that is cilnidipine, which is a calcium channel blocker. You first start with 5 milligram OD, but since there is no adequate response, you increase it to 10 milligram. But in spite of these two drugs, the blood pressure is still 160 by 90, means it is not under our control. Then you start with a third drug, that is chlorthalidone, which is a thiazide, and you start first with 12.5 milligram OD, then increase it to 25 milligram. But in spite of all these three drugs, patient's blood pressure is still 150 by 90. Means it is above our target, that is, or our goal, that is 140 by 90. So this is the definition of resistant hypertension, that if the blood pressure of patient is more than the set goal, in spite of optimal doses of three drugs, and one of that drug must be a diuretic, then it is called as resistant hypertension. This is the main definition, and another definition is also there. For suppose you add a fourth drug here, and after adding fourth drug, then patient's blood pressure is under control, that is less than 140 by 90, then also it will be called as resistant hypertension. Now we will see what are the causes of resistant hypertension. The causes are divided into two categories. First is patient related, and second important cause is secondary hypertension. Now the patient related causes are rather than causes, they are the conditions with which the resistant hypertension is associated. So it is more common in female patients. Also, it is more seen in old age patients. It is also more common in patients with obesity. Remember, our patient was obese patient. And also it is more associated with patients of diabetes mellitus, alcohol, and these are the two important causes. First is high salt intake can lead to resistant hypertension, and there are certain drugs like steroids, OC pills, and NSAIDs. They can lead to resistant hypertension. Now, various other causes of secondary hypertension can also lead to resistant hypertension, and they are like CKD, renal artery stenosis, primary hyperaldosteronism, obstructive sleep apnea, pheochromocytoma, Cushing syndrome, and thyroid disorders. So remember that many cases of resistant hypertension are not truly resistant hypertension, and there may be many cases among them of secondary hypertension. So ruling out secondary hypertension is very important in the evaluation of resistant hypertension. Now we come to the important step. Now how to evaluate this patient of resistant hypertension. So first thing we have to do is exclude the pseudo resistance. What is pseudo resistance? It is the false resistance of the patient to the treatment, and there can be various causes for it, like it can be due to poor adherence to the medications. The patient may not be taking proper medications, and this leads to uncontrolled BP, and we may diagnose this patient as resistant hypertension. Then white coat hypertension. Sometimes patient is very anxious, and when patient comes to the clinic and we take blood pressure, it comes at the higher range. This is called as white coat hypertension. Then improper BP measurement. If your technique of taking blood pressure is not proper, then also it can misdiagnose as resistant hypertension. For example, our patient is a obese patient. If the patient is morbidly obese, then you have to take a different size of cuff for BP measurement. If you take the normal size cuff, then the BP measurement will come to the higher values. And the fourth cause can be suboptimal doses or inappropriate combination. If the treatment that the patient is taking or the drugs that the patient is taking are at the suboptimal doses, then also it can be a cause of pseudo resistance. Sometimes inappropriate combinations like this are available. Means the combination is proper, but the dose here, as you can see, the dose of telmisartan is 40 and the cilnidipine is 5. So the telmisartan dose is optimal, but the cilnidipine dose is not still optimal. And if the patient is taking such type of combination, then it can also lead to a false diagnosis of resistant hypertension. Now in the evaluation, first step you have taken that you have excluded the pseudo resistance. Then the second step is that you have to exclude the secondary hypertension. For this, you have to do all the evaluation of the patient for the secondary hypertension according to the various symptoms and signs. So there are some clues for that. For example, if the patient is having hypokalemia, then it can be hyperaldosteronism. If there is a abdominal bruit, then it can be renal artery stenosis. If there is a snoring or daytime sleepiness, it can be obstructive sleep apnea. And if there is headache, sweating, palpitation, then this can be pheochromocytoma. So in this way, an important two steps in the evaluation are that first you have to rule out pseudo resistance, and then you have to also rule out secondary hypertension. Now we have come to the most important part of our lecture, that is the management. The management of resistant hypertension is divided into two parts. First, we try to rectify the reversible causes. Mainly, it is a lifestyle modification. And the second part is use of various drugs. So, in the first part, what we can do? First, ask patient to restrict the sodium intake in the diet. It should be less than 2 grams per day. Then there should be weight reduction and increased physical activity. Remember, our patient was an obese patient and IT professional with sedentary lifestyle. That has to be changed. Then limit alcohol and stop smoking. Then a good sleep hygiene and treat obstructive sleep apnea. These all are important part of the lifestyle modification. And another important reversible cause is that stop medications that could increase the blood pressure, like steroids, OC pills, etc. Now after lifestyle modification, then we go for the drugs. The drug of choice, the fourth drug that we will add here is spironolactone. And in spite of spironolactone, if there is no response, then other options are like this. You can add beta blockers, then also alpha blockers, then centrally acting drugs like clonidine, and also direct vasodilators like hydralazine. And apart from these drugs, you have to also manage the comorbid conditions like diabetes mellitus. So in summary, resistant hypertension is uncontrolled blood pressure on three drugs. For evaluation, you have to first rule out the pseudo-resistance and also evaluate for secondary causes. And in the management, two important things are: first is lifestyle modification and another is drugs, and of it the most important is spironolactone. So friends, I am sure that after watching this video, you will be confident in the diagnosis and management of resistant hypertension. If you find today's video helpful, do share with your friends, and if you have come for the first time on this channel, then do subscribe this channel for more such clinical videos. And also don't forget to solve the quiz that is there in the description box. See you in the next video. Till then, thank you.